TitleMatchNetwork.com.
He was incredibly strict. But for me, I didn't have anything to compare it to. I was 19 years old. So for me, it was the greatest thing in the world. I was fined my second week in the business. On the booking sheet, you get, when you're new there, on the TV part, it says it has your name there. But when you're a regular part of the, company, you don't have, everyone has to be a TV.
Right.
Well, I didn't know that. I'd never been a day in the business. So the next week, it didn't have my name, so it didn't show up. The next day, the next day after the TV, we're going to a town to meet the Rock and Roll Express at Popeye's Fried Chicken. And what were you for TV? And I said, well, it didn't have my name on it. They said, everybody's got to be at TV. I said, well, I didn't know. Got my check. I got fined $50. I went to Bill and I said, Bill, I just broke into business 2 weeks ago. I said, I didn't know that was a rule. He goes, now you do. And so, but I was never late I never missed a TV again.
Right.
So, but he was strict, but I think it was fair. Bill just has a different way of doing it. He's what they sort of call a negative motivator. I think Bobby Knight-ish. I think if I were to compare him to somebody,
right.
I'd say it's Bobby Knight, but I think he was just as successful.
Right. What was that like? What was Verne Gagne like as a promoter?
Verne was also. I can't say Verne was a negative motivator. That was the time where the wrestling business was changing.
Right.
Vince had taken over. So Verne was just really just an old timer. He just didn't understand where the business was going. I can remember Marty and I's first meeting with him, us talking about the team, and him asking us, did we have a name? And we said, yeah, we want to be called Midnight Rockers. And he thought about it, and he, honest as God's my witness, asked us if, are you sure they'll know rockers like rock and roll, or do you think they'll mean like rocking chairs?
Right. Oh, God.
And we said, Verne, trust me.
Right.
They're going to know the way we dress long hair. They're going to know rock and roll. So, but Verne he wasn't around all that much, really. I mean, he would come to a couple shows here and there. Greg mostly handled everything. And I can't say, for me, it was a great experience again. It was wrestling. As long as I was wrestling, to me, it was great.
Right.
But it was just, Vince was going worldwide. They were getting, in their eyes, compared to what they had before, they were getting crushed.
Right.
And really, again, for us, we were doing okay, and they were on cable. And so it was great.
You guys had some great matches with Playboy Buddy Rose and Doug Summers.
Yeah, and we worked with them probably our entire time there.
Right.
Almost 2 years solid, but it was a great experience. Buddy, for what he lacks in, every other aspect of his life, he was a great teacher.
Right.
Really good.
What are your memories of the match from New Year's Eve, the bloodbath?
That was sort of the one I think that sort of put us on the map as a tag team. But we had so many with them. I liked that was the one that got the most recognition because there was blood.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
We had some other classic matches. The story that we did when I won the title is the actual true life story. I was 12 years old here in San Antonio, saw Southwest Championship Wrestling for the first time. Got to stay up late. Saw it one time, and from the first time I saw it, I knew that's what I wanted to do. After that, it was, being a fan, going to the matches, and then it wasn't long before I was watching the matches more as a student as opposed to being a fan, and followed me. I did it all throughout high school, and we put on our senior talent show was a wrestling match me and my buddy had, and it took over the whole school. And then when I went to I graduated, and $1 million question, what are you going to be? And I still want to be a wrestler. And at that time, there was a local promoter here by the name of Fred Barron, who is now currently in jail because he turned into a Bond king and had somebody killed and yada yada. But so my dad and I, he was also a used car salesman. So my father and I went down not far from here, down in San Pedro, and went to find him and introduced myself to him. I was 17. And at that time, there was a commission here in Texas. You had to be 19 to be a wrestler. So he and my dad sort of agreed I should go to college, get an education, and wait till I was old enough to do it. So went up the road to Southwest Texas University, turned 18 that summer. Went for 2 semesters and just didn't do anything except learn how to drink mostly. And that's about it. got a pair of 1.4s and came back home and told my dad I didn't want to waste his money. So I went back again and talked to him. At that time I was 18, but I was going to turn 19 that summer. I met him. He introduced me to José Lothario, and I trained for Jose for probably at the most maybe 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, and Jose said, "We pretty much, you've got the basics." So nothing was left except for me to go out and then do it. And he started me out in Bill Watts' old Mid-South, and just went from there, and climbed the ladder from there.
TitleMatchNetwork.com